pass is the basic volleyball skill used when receiving a serve. It can also be called a dig when handling an opponent's attack.
The first phase is to start in the ready position with your arms straight away from your body. Next, extend your legs in order to get into a stable and balanced position and move your arms away from the shoulders. And finally, contact your forearms with the volleyball and finish with your hands pointing towards the target. Before you get into the ready position, you should be in the anatomical position. The anatomical position is when your body is in an upright standing position and when your feet and face are pointing forward with your arms at the sides. Also, your forearms are fully supinated.
The forearm pass in volleyball is made in the sagittal plane. The sagittal plane, also known as the medial plane, is vertical and it extends from the front of the body to the back of the body. Basically, it is the line formed by the intersection flexion of the transverse and frontal plane.
The sagittal or antero-posterior axis runs antero-posteriorly, meaning from the front to the back, and lies at the intersection of the transverse and sagittal plane. Let's break it down further!
For the ready position, you should be relaxed and ready to move in any direction. Shoulders should be square to the ball, and your feet slightly wider than shoulder width with knees flexed. Trunk is slightly bent forward with arms and shoulders relaxed in front of your body.
Step 2 is pre-contact. Your arms must straighten and you should grip your hands together to create a flat surface from the wrists to the elbows. Your knees are flexed around 90 degrees and one foot is slightly in front of the other. Wait, how do you grip your hands?
This video will explain.
First, we need to make sure that we get our platform together. We need to make sure that our platform, we have our forefingers perpendicular to each other. Then we bring our thumbs so that our thumbs are parallel to each other. We don't want fingers sticking out. We just want to make sure that we have a nice, smooth wrists and hands, that our platform is together.
Now, back to the video. Let's go on to the next step.
The next step is contact. Your arms are straight, forming a 90-degree angle with your lower body. The trunk is straight with a forward lean, and the ball contacts both forearms at a point slightly above the wrists. Your arm should swing slightly forward and upwards to contact the ball.
The final step is the follow-through. In this step, your body moves forward in a direction towards the target. Then, you resume back to the ready position in preparation for the next action.
Now we're going to compare the forearm pass for the expert, beginner, and intermediate.
In the video, an Olympic gold medalist was training his national volleyball champion named Taylor Wilson. As you saw, Taylor's form was perfect. His knees were flexed and his trunk was straight. He had that slight forward lean and had his arms extended at all times. He hit the ball with perfection, keeping his arms straight and pointing them towards the ball.
Sarah had her knees and trunk slightly bent. Although she did not put one foot in front of the other to help her balance, and her trunk was not aligned 90 degrees with her lower body. As well, compared to the expert, her knees were not fully flexed, and therefore her pass was not her full potential, but she kept her balance the entire time. As well, she swung her arms too high, making the ball go high up and not towards the target. Finally, her legs extended too fast when she hit the ball, but the ball did hit in the correct area of her hands, and she kept them angled towards the target after.
Sarah bent her trunk too far down, making it hard to keep balance as she did not flex her knees at all. This made her body stagger and lose balance, which made her fall forward. She didn't go into ready position, and her arms did not follow through, facing the target. Her arms swung too high, making the ball fly in a different direction, and her knees did not apply the force because they weren't flexed. Her arms were placed correctly, but the ball contacted them with too much force, to which she was not prepared for.
Now we're going to discuss how we would teach a child to learn how to forearm pass in volleyball.
The way we would teach a beginner to do a proper forearm volleyball pass would be like this. The first step is you need to know how to grip your hands properly. Interlocking fingers isn't proper since your forearms are out of line, and when in contact with the ball will be sent flying at any angle instead of the direction you expected. After understanding how to properly grip your hands, you will need to get into the athletic position, meaning have a slight bend in your knees and a small lean with a straight trunk. Finally, to bump, you only use your legs to come up and point your arms towards the ball. The wrong way people usually do it is they swing their arms up and down towards the ball, which is not proper.
Now let's look at all the different muscles used when making this forearm pass in volleyball.
The muscles that work when you perform the forearm pass are elbow flexors and extensors, muscles of the abdomen, muscles of the forearm, quadriceps groups, the hamstrings, as well as the calf muscle and the glutes. As you lower yourself into the ready position, your hamstrings flex. As you hold yourself in a squat position, your glutes and quadriceps muscles flex.
The quadriceps and glutes also flex when you stand straight up from the ready position to hit the ball. At the same time as you hit the ball, your biceps extend and your triceps contract as your arms are supinated.
What keeps the arms supinated is the supinator muscle. Finally, what moves the arms up to hit the ball and down back to the ready position is the latissimus dorsi.
Now we're going to discuss the different types of biomechanics seen in volleyball forearm passing. The first principle is stability. Having a lower center of gravity and keeping the line of gravity within the base of support means that you can successfully produce a pass without falling off balance. In order to be balanced, it is important to lower your body and making sure that you are underneath it, and also flexing your knees and hips will help.
The next principle is maximum effort. In order to hit the ball, you will need to use muscle strength to swing your arms. The harder you hit the ball, the more force you use, the further the ball will go. As well, you use many muscles to move around and try and hit the ball coming from different directions.
The fourth principle is linear motion. The more force that you use to hit the ball, the farther the ball will travel. Also, it will accelerate depending on the force applied towards it.
Now, we're going to classify the skill.
When looking at the environment during volleyball, the environment is open because you cannot predict what happens next. You also cannot predict whether the ball will go towards you or from a different angle, and you don't know if the team will lose control of it after you pass it. Everything is random, and it happens because of the actions of both teams. You can't see ahead of what is going to happen next.
A volleyball forearm pass is a discrete skill because the starting point is when you hit the ball and the ending point is when you get back into the ready position in preparation of your teammates' and opponents' next actions.
The forearm pass is a gross motor skill because it requires multiple muscles to produce the motion. For example, both your legs and your arms work during the forearm pass.
Now we're going to be discussing the type of feedback for this particular skill. The type of feedback is knowledge of performance. This is because when looking at the movement, the form is more important than the results. As you saw before, the beginner and intermediate had the same effect with the ball.
The ball went high, whereas the form was different. Therefore, form overpowers results, because having improper form will not change your results by much, but it will decrease your chances of having an effective pass.
And that was the volleyball forearm pass.
Seek paradise, won't change your mind. Can't shake the lights. I'll take the chance and roll the dice. I want it all, just for the night. I